Saskia, awesome boat.
Thank
Your husband was just telling me, and I had a little chat with him. Wonderful. So, can you give me a little bit of the history of your boat and a little bit of the history of yourself and your husband?
Well, the history of the boat is very much around my husband, who, since he was studying in Cape Town at UCT, used to actually walk down to the Royal Cape Yacht Club, look at the boats, and said, one day, I will have one. And then we were, obviously years later, we were in Hout Bay one day, and the next minute he actually turned around and showed us a 50-foot cat and said, well, we own a boat.
This boat?
No, it was it's HQ.
Okay.
Also HQ, but she was a 50-footer.
Okay.
And we were all quite taken aback because all of a sudden we had a boat. We never knew.
And you bought that boat?
He bought that boat.
Okay.
Poof, we had a boat. And the first night we were on the boat, that was our memorable
You need
night.
to tell me about that.
Because that night, one of the biggest storms, like only the Cape of storms, happened in that harbour. I mean, 7 boats capsized that night and sunk.
Wow.
We had 92 knots of wind. But they say ignorance is bliss, and that night we just actually loved it. We thought it was, actually we didn't know how scared we were supposed to be. And the guy who sold us the boat, Mark Delaney, who built Two Oceans, he said, if you weren't scared tonight and you still want to be on this boat, you sailors. And that next minute we were sailing.
Can I ask you, so you weren't sailors before this?
No.
What did you and your husband used to do? What did you guys do?
Oh, bush, lots of bush.
Bushwork?
Yeah, no, bush as in Kruger National Park, Hoedspruit, Game Drive.
Yes.
That, and we love sea holidays. We like Mozambique and sea holidays. But he has always loved the sea. Just lucky for him, the boys enjoy it, I enjoy it, and the girls enjoy it.
Now
but he's the pirate at heart.
Is he the pirate?
He's the pirate at heart.
So you race this to win, or just to be pirates on the sea?
Obviously, everyone wants to win. Winning
yes,
is cool.
Yes.
We've never achieved that. Cape to St. Helena, we blew all our sails, and after 3 days of stitching sails, we eventually diverted and ended up in Walvis, which was a letdown for all of us. But we would love to win. Winning is cool.
Well, winning is it?
But we haven't achieved that yet. But we also do it for fun, and we have fun. Yeah, we have a lot. We have fun.
I wanted to ask you this as well. I found that there's only 3 crew. Not your husband. Somebody was telling me there's 3 crew.
2 skippers, a hostie.
Okay.
Crew, she's deckhand hostie, and then us.
And then you guys, you guys then work with them.
Yeah, we work.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you work.
We work, and we do watches. We don't work as hard as I think the guys on the other boats work. We work more in, I wouldn't say style, it's more comfortable.
Okay.
Very comfortable.
So you had to learn to sail that.
No, I haven't learned to sail, but we do watches. I'm chief cook and bottle washer, so I don't know that. I don't do that many watches, and I'm the cleaner and the organizer. But
I'm curious. I'm looking at this beautiful boat, and I thought, it looks like a power boat. It doesn't. I wouldn't have said it's a yacht.
Oh no.
Yeah, it looks like a real
we
power.
love sail. No, we love wind, especially when the engines are off and the sails are up. And it's that quiet, and all you hear is the chip of the wave. Yeah,
beautiful,
and she sings. That's our favorite.
But it has got power. You got the engines.
No, she's got
in case you get stuck.
Yeah, no, and if we need to, we can.
But you're not allowed to use your engines now. You've got to sail.
Not at all.
Yeah, you got to sail.
No, it's not like to St. Helena Governor's Cup where we can put a bit of engine on.
No, you can't. Now you might just get stranded.
Okay.
What are you going to do then? You can't even watch my clip after this.
No, you can email it to us in the
meantime. You won't get it.
In the meantime.
I wanted to ask you.
We won't be stranded.
You said, awesome. You said something about the Rio trip. These boats, you've been on that.
The men did the race. They did the race, survived the storm, and then the girls got on the other side in Rio, and we sailed to Sao Paulo, but we went and did that island, Il Grande, which was absolutely so incredible to sail in a different country, see different beaches, different, landscape, different everything. Yeah, South America, it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
You love sailing? This is all you now do?
I actually love it, that feeling. It's like a mixed feeling. It's almost like a scary but so exciting feeling that when you leave a harbour and you there's the ocean and you leave all the nonsense behind, whatever, and then that unknown, just going. Well, you sort of know. I mean, of course you know where you're going, but it's like a amazing.
So in the day, normally you do the bush stuff still. You're still doing the bush stuff, or is it just?
We still do.
You still do. This is
bush
just the
stuff.
events for the racing and stuff. And the
holiday. We do sailing holidays. Yeah, we sail to Basas to India over December.
Must be awesome for you and your kids.
No,
and
the
your
kids love it. No,
what a life that they've been brought up
they're
in.
Lucky.
What they are privileged and lucky to have you guys.
Lucky.
Memorable moments. Was that the Rio?
Got that storm.
Was that memorable?
No, in hindsight, knowing more, I can't believe we actually stayed on the boat that night. And just the adventures, like especially if you do like Basas to India and you go up the Mozambican coast where you're the only boat.
Yes.
There's no one there. We find you in discovering places and seeing places that you would normally you won't see if you're on land. But we still do both. We still get to a place and try and get a car and still try and explore land and not just become yachties that just stay on our boat and see harbours. I like a balance. We need to do a bit of both.
I've got one big question for you. Does sailing rock?
Yes, sailing rocks.
About yourself, we were just chatting now. You have an awesome story to tell me. You rent yachts, you rent and then drive them for other guys.
Yes, I'm working for a private family at the moment. I've been in the sailing industry since 2007. Went over the Caribbean. Second time I sailed was cross Atlantic crossing, and then I just sort of slipped into the industry. Didn't like the super yacht industry, so I went to the smaller yachts, started skippering on that, and just travel the world.
Now tell me a little bit about the Vasco da Gama. Is this your? You've done this a few times.
Yeah, we've done it for Vasco. This is our third Vasco.
Okay.
And then last year we've done in Yaka. So we actually done the last 4 years we've been racing from Durban.
And just tell me a little bit about. I know that Vasco is from Durban to PE. What's the Inyaka?
The Inyaka is from Maputo, from Inyaka Island, just across Maputo down to Richards Bay.
Okay.
There's two races in South Africa, or from Durban, or from Natal. The one is the Vasco race that used to be from Durban to Maputo, and this year they changed it from Durban to Port Elizabeth. And the other race is in Yaka, run by the Richards Bay Yacht Club, and they run it. You sail up, and the race starts in Yaka Island, and you race down all the way to Richards Bay.
Now I wonder, you got a crew with you here. You said sometimes you do the single. You don't do. You sail single-handed.
Yeah, me and the owner normally sails by ourselves, and then when we race, we get some extra people in to help.
Okay. And now you've got a crew that you're skipping.
Yes, we five people in the yacht for this race.
Okay.
We're in the rally class, so it's a bit more relaxed.
Oh, it's the rally class, a relaxed class.
Yeah, no, that's the fun class. Yeah, so
a lot of beer on board. No.
Yeah, some drinks, and also you're allowed to run your engine for 6 hours in 24.
Okay.
So you can actually sort of, if you plan good, you can keep up with the racing yachts. So it gives you that little bit to just keep with them, because the yacht we've got is a cruising yacht. It's slow, it's big, it's built for comfort, not for speed.
Okay.
And that 6 hours a day, if you plan it nicely in the low wind conditions or beating into the wind, then it helps quite a bit.
Now tell me the economics of sailing. In terms of, you guys in the rally class, sailing can be an expensive sport, am I right?
Yes, for sure.
How are the economics? Is it just purely a hobby sport, or do the owners race this for the money?
I think in South Africa is mainly a hobby, and the owners covers a lot of the cost, but internationally it's full on, some people make their career to race. Okay. Full on racing as the super yachts, that can be a career. At the moment I'm skippering, that's my career. Okay. So yes, it is economics, racing in South Africa, yachting in South Africa, unfortunately, is very small. But also, our sea is very dangerous and it's challenging seas to sail in.
Is our sea dangerous?
Yeah, it's one of the more dangerous places to sail in the world.
Really?
If you go past Cape, the southern part of South Africa, and you put that on your CV, you know that counts quite a bit.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, if you sail in the Mediterranean or Caribbean, if it gets bad, you run into an island, you go
Okay, cool. You're right.
If you sail from here to Port Elizabeth, it is a 400 nautical mile sail, and it's 3 days, normal sailing, and there's nowhere to hide except East London. East London is your next port, which you can go in. So if you're in a storm or something, you sit. So you have to plan actually very nicely.
This race can be quite a dangerous race.
It is. That's the one concern of racing is you can't plan your weather. Normally we won't sail. We choose our weather and then sail. With the racing, they choose a starting date and then they sail around that. So that becomes dangerous. Yes.
Okay, are you ready and planned for this?
Yes, we're ready. We looked at the weather. It doesn't look dangerous, so that's why we decided to go. If the weather did look dangerous, we wouldn't have gone.
Now you're not married, obviously. You were telling me you got a girlfriend. Does she doesn't race with you?
No, she doesn't sail.
Okay, right.
She's a bit of a landlubber.
Okay, like some of us are. I want to just ask before we finish, any memorable moments, Christo?
Yes, some of my most amazing moments is on the water. The first time I went sailing, we thought we're dying and we thought we're dead. And then the next day, after this massive storm, after the sea calmed down, there was this phosphor in the water. So the whole track behind the boat lit up in blue color. And there was this like torpedo-like things coming towards us, and it was dolphins. And they were playing in this phosphor, making the streets of looked like glass tubes around the boat, just playing around the boat. And it lit up the whole ocean around us in this light blue fluorescent color. It was amazing.
You can see it, a life-changing experience. You could see it on your face. You really love that.
That was amazing.
Your boat is
Alcestis.
Alcestis, yeah. Okay, good luck to you. I'm going to ask you, does sailing rock?
Sailing was good, eh?
Okay.
Good fun. Takes you places.
Jessica, awesome boat, man. It must be a dream come true for you to be a hostess on this boat.
Yes, no, it is. It's wonderful. I never planned on doing this. It just adventure jumped out in front of me. So
what happened? How did it? Are you a boaty person?
I sailed a lot all through my life. I sailed with my dad when I was little, and then I stopped because of school and I studied. I studied archaeology actually before this, and then one day I got a phone call, and the owners of this yacht needed crew for their other yacht. So I said, yeah, cool, I'll do it. Like, it'll be fun. So I hopped on, and I was just hooked. I love it. Yeah.
So now that's it. You do this full time? Are you the hostess full time?
Yeah.
So the yacht is always running. It's always going everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
So this is awesome for you. And there's somebody else. There's 3 of you.
There's 3 crew. There's the skipper, the first mate, and myself.
Okay, the 3 of you. And Richard, I spoke to Richard when I came here. Was he one of the skippers or?
Richard.
Blonde guy, young guy like you.
Yes. Yeah, he's the first mate.
Okay, brilliant. And he's also been on this.
Yeah, he jumped on board the other yacht with me last year, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And so we both got started at the same time.
He's a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
And you guys must have a lot of fun.
Yes,
Any
we
memorable
do.
moments on this boat?
Memorable.
Yeah.
Lots of memorable moments.
Give me
Especially
one.
with the family on board, the owner and his family. We've had some great times. We've been out into the middle of the Indian Ocean swimming in 3 kilometer deep seas.
What a life, man. You wouldn't give it up for anything, Jessica?
No, it's really special.
Do you want to say hello to your friends, people that you know, your moms, your dads? No.
I suppose no, to everybody. Like it's nice to be here, and it's nice to have the opportunity to host a function like this. So, yeah.
Jessica, before I finish, does sailing rock? Okay, Virginia and Craig. Craig, you're the owner of your boat? Nomad. And Virginia, you're one of the helpers, the deckhand crew members.
Definitely.
Can you tell me a little bit about your boat?
She was basically launched in 2010, built in Johannesburg, and then shipped down to Richards Bay and completed there. We've competed in every Yorker and Vasco since 2010.
Since when?
And Rio. And Rio.
Oh, you went on the Rio as well?
Yes.
On the Rio.
2014.
And have you always had Virginia with you? She's
No.
okay.
A lot of the 80%.
80% of the time.
Not always.
You've been on
No.
most in Yorkers, but not necessarily Vasco. Yeah.
A lot of times.
And how do you guys know each other? Is it just from the sailing?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, brilliant. And
From being at the same yacht club, yes.
okay, brilliant. Now, tell me a little bit about yourselves. In terms of the, you said, Craig, you, this is your boat, but you're not a salesperson by profession, are you?
Actually, I'm a sales.
Are you a sales guy?
Yeah, I've got my own company doing sealing and partitioning.
Okay.
And we did boat building for a while. And that's how I ended up with Nomad.
All right, and that's how
Building
you.
it for somebody and then ended up building it for myself.
Brilliant. And you, Virginia?
I've been sailing all my life since 18.
Okay.
Racing and cruising and whatever. And I do a lot of work on the boats, doing the sewing for the canvas work and everything. That's my business.
All right, brilliant. So that's your business. And you guys obviously love this. I mean, this is you wouldn't do anything else.
No.
You can see you complete sailor people, you
Yes.
sailors through and through. Memorable moments
You
on the
are.
Nomad. Memorable moments on the Nomad. Yeah,
Too
Craig.
many.
Obviously, doing the Cape to Rio yacht race, that was probably one of them.
Wow. Okay.
Being able to take line orders in the catamaran section, that was great. And just generally being able to get out into the ocean and enjoying nature.
Wow. And you see a lot of wonderful things out there.
Yeah, I mean, up in Richards Bay, we've got dolphins, whales. It's just fantastic, yeah.
Okay. And yourself the same.
Myself,
Memorable moments?
in Yorker this year.
Okay.
Craig having to go back to Joburg and leaving me in charge of the boat. I had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. I'm going to ask you now, both of you, does sailing rock? Craig, you?
Yeah, it rocks for me.
Okay. And Virginia? Ah, Jody, you're a fascinating guy. Tell me a little bit about what you do here at the yachting in the yachting fraternity.
Well, I started off building Scape 39 yachts in Cape Town as a mold builder, plug builder they call it. And then from there I came to Durban, built a boat called Michaela, steel hull, aluminium superstructures, 85-foot boats, 150 tons, around about 48 million the owner spent on her yacht so far. And I got into that business once I finished building boats. The owner says, you're either coming with me or you're going to carry on building boats. So I decided, I need to explore the sea a bit and explore the boating industry a bit and go into that as well. So yeah, I've enjoyed every part of building boats and also every part of being on that boat out at sea and really enjoying what I've done in life. Just in building.
And yeah, you don't actually, do you actually sail?
I sailed, my first sail was with Nomad to Inyaka, well from Inyaka back to Durban, and I found that also so fascinating because I'm not really a sail yacht type of individual. I'm more on power boats. I was, grew up on power boating, but going on the sails was something a lot new, different to me, and I enjoyed it. And I said to Craig, I want to do Inyaka every year.
So you're saying to me that power boats was your what you were in, and now you switched to sailing boats. More passion with the sailing boats.
A lot more passionate because there's a lot more to do. You don't just sit in the cockpit area looking at a monitor on autopilot. You're out there, you're hands on, and you're looking for ships all over the place. You're looking for dangers, and you're really doing a lot more work as far as sailing.
And with the power boats, I know there's a lot of competition with that, so there's quite a bit of work involved there in terms of competition, or is it just you'd know all about it?
Yeah, with power boats, the boat I built was classed the best boat ever built in South Africa, in Durban shipyard, South African shipyards. Top Billing did a story on it in 2009, and they classed it as a 5-star, basically hotel on water.
Wow, okay.
And yes, I've been involved in that, with the owner being such a wealthy gentleman lovely family and wife, and yeah, so we take them wherever they want to go all over the world with Michaela.
I must admit, there's something about a sailboat. It's like man against the water. It's like man,
and
you know,
the wind, and
the
yes,
wind.
yes, absolutely.
There's a creative spirit with that. It's just you can't replace
A
it.
lot different than power, because power there you don't need wind.
Yeah.
You know, you need power basically, and you know, on Michaela she's got 2,000 horses behind her, so you know, you put her into forward and she's going to go wherever you want.
You were telling me that it's expensive, the diesel for boats.
Yeah, well, I mean, imagine 24,000 liters of fuel, diesel on one boat. I mean, you want to go somewhere in the world, you're going to fill it up, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
And you were going to show me this boat of yours. You were going to show me on the boat. You were going to show me on your camera.
Yes,
Yeah. Bring it. Yeah. Let's have a look. It's YouTube. Let's go.
There we go. That's over there.
Awesome. Now tell me how big this boat is. I want you to tell me.
Well, she's 85 foot, 150 tons of steel and aluminium. She's a custom built boat. She doesn't come out of a mold. And yeah, she carries 2 jet skis at the back. The transom comes out to 4 meters, and she's got a 6.5 meter beam.
Wow, fantastic! Thank you. Now, so basically, you just build these boats.
Yes.
There's business for you. There's
always
a good business.
There's always a good business. But now I'm finished building boats. You know,
You're finished now?
Yes, I'm almost 50 years old. I'm actually 50 years old this year. So
Wow. You wouldn't say it, eh?
well, thank you. But
Okay, but I mean, you're not an old man at 50. Let's be honest. I mean, this is when life begins.
Absolutely.
Come
yes.
on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I'm going to concentrate myself in actually starting to sail a bit more.
You want to do the sailing?
Yes.
You want to
yeah.
sail?
I enjoy it so much.
You've done enough building, now you want to sail. Jody, memorable moments in your life and your career in the sailing world?
In the sailing world is probably when we launched Michaela after almost 5 years, and I was on top when the crane picked her up, and I was on top, right at the top, and as soon as that boat hit the water, it was probably my best moment, because you know, like I say, it took almost 5 years to build. Wow. A lot of man hours put into that boat, and like I say, classed as the best boat built in South Africa, gave me such a good privilege of being part of that. So yeah, that was probably my best moment.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Does the sales world rock, Jody?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It rocks.
Yeah, it rocks.
It
It
rocks.
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 Sales are better than power.
It
my
rocks.
opinion.
Get down here.
Okay.
Come meet Jody and the guys. It rocks.
Okay.